back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about my January wrap-up. I did not have a very great January. I only read a total of 4 books. Reading is not a race. Reading is not a competition. I feel like the books I read, I absolutely adored. I am completely in my young adult fantasy era. I love everything of this genre. I'm so happy with everything that I read. So let's get to it. Let's talk about the books that I read in January. First book was Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I finished the Carval series in December. I picked up, obviously right away, I picked up Once Upon a Broken Heart and it exceeded my expectations. Fantastic. I love Jax so much, so I knew that I was going to love him, and I'm so happy he got his own book. The series is breaking my heart, so clearly Jax is still going through it. He does not deserve all the pain that he's being put through in these books. He has definitely skyrocketed to #1 god tier book boyfriend. So Once Upon a Broken Heart basically follows Evangeline Fox. Her man, her boyfriend, is getting married to her sister. She thinks that her boyfriend's kind of like under a spell, so she goes to the temple of the Prince of Hearts and she prays to him to kind of like disrupt the wedding, to kind of halt it, to disrupt it, for things not to happen. And from there, a lot of things happen, a lot of events happen, things go crazy. The lipstick on my teeth, oh my god, no! I gave this book like 5 stars. It was fabulous. It was amazing. There's vampires in this book. It was just so good. There's a scene where they go to this vampire dungeon and it was just my favorite. It was probably my favorite part of the book. There's just so many things that I loved about this book. I love the characters. Honestly, I will say that Evangeline, she made really bad decisions. I understand that she's like 18 years old, so she's like a baby, she's a teenager, she's bound to make bad decisions, but I kept wanting to shake her because like, girl, like I just wanted to put my brain in her brain, just like shake her up and be like, girl, what are you doing? Like, why are you trusting these people? Like, ugh. But you know, it's just so good. So obviously right after, I had to pick up The Ballad of Never After. It is obviously the sequel. I don't want to say too much because it's a sequel, but I really loved it more than Once Upon a Broken Heart because I feel like the relationship between Evangeline and Evangeline and Jax, really got to see them be together, and we got to see their relationship and their banter, and like it just broke my heart so many times. This book ripped my heart out of my chest. I absolutely adored Evangeline's growth because I feel like in the first book she was kind of like a silly teenager. She was making really bad decisions. Book 2, her development was amazing. Like her just kind of standing up for herself, her like fighting skills. Like I really love tropes in fantasy books where she's not a fighter. She doesn't know how to kill a person with a bobby pin, and I feel like I love how soft she is. She's a lover girl. She's literally, all she wants to do is just fall in love and be in love. She wants to have like this whole beautiful fairy tale love story. It's all she wants, and I just love that. I love a good badass female character in fantasy books, but I feel like soft girls just don't get enough love because we can be badass too. The way I would describe Jax as is like the third Salvatore brother from the Vampire Diaries. He's so Damon and Stefan combined into one. His sarcasm, his humor, but also his brokenness, and it's just so good. When I finished The Ballad of Never After, all I kept thinking was, I'm gonna need to go to therapy now because this was so heartbreaking. This ending took me out. This ending almost made me want to pull a Bella and like go cry in the forest in the hole. Like I knew it was gonna break my heart because Jax and Evangeline were literally killing me. They were sending me out of orbit. The true villain of this story is the author Stephanie Garber. She is the villain because she puts us, the reader, through so much pain, but Jax is love of my life. He's so blunt and he drives me crazy, but like in the hottest way possible. I really love Stephanie Garber's writing. Her writing is very just whimsical and dreamy, and the world that she's created is so beautiful. I want to go live in the magnificent north. On my Kindle, I picked up The Overnight Guest just for a fun winter thriller to read to get over my Evangeline and Jax heartbreak. It was a crazy thriller. I really enjoyed it. So it's basically we follow the main character. I did not like her name. It was Wiley, and I was like, why did we choose this? But it is explained in the book, so her name does have some significance, but just like every time I saw her name, my brain kind of went blank because I was like, what the heck is a Wiley? Anyway, Wiley decided to kind of ditch her life. Her relationship with her ex-husband and her son is not doing very good. She's an author, so she needs to escape. So she escapes to this little farmhouse in the middle of nowhere in this really small town, finish off her book. While she's there, the town gets hit with this huge blizzard. So she's trapped in a blizzard. As this blizzard goes on throughout the night, she finds an abandoned child on her front lawn just lying there. She takes the child in, obviously, and from there so many things happen. The plot thickens. It was such a very entertaining read. I was really hooked from the start. I will say that based on the reviews, I was expecting this book to be absolutely amazing, life-changing. I was expecting this thriller to be a 5 stars. That sadly didn't happen. I really enjoyed the plot of the book. The format of the book was very fun. There's a wide cast of characters. There's so many timelines happening. You kind of figure out how each character fits into this plot. What I didn't really enjoy about this book is that when I kind of closed my Kindle, put it off, when I rethought everything that happened, I found that there was a lot of plot holes in the story. I was left with a lot of questions because a lot of things just didn't go unanswered, which bothers me because I feel like a good thriller will take everything and tie it up in a nice little bow, but this book did not have a nice little bow. It had just a dangly little string at the end. I really enjoyed the characters. I just wanted to know more. I wanted to know more about what happened to these characters. I feel like the timelines, we have a past timeline, a current, and like an italics timeline. I feel like the past timeline kind of just stopped abruptly, and I just would have liked to know more about the investigation, like what happened behind the scenes, the police officers. I just feel like this could have been wrapped up a little better, in my opinion. It was very easy to just get sucked into the story, and I loved how entertaining it was. It's very fast paced, it's very fun, but I will say the plot is very predictable. I saw it from like a mile away, but it didn't hinder my enjoyment. Like just because I predicted the plot, wasn't annoyed with the book. I wasn't like, oh, this book sucked. You know what I mean? I feel like the ending was very intense, which I appreciated. I really liked how action-packed and intense the ending was. I gave The Overnight Guest 4 stars. The last book I read in January, and this was my only physical book, and it was The Heartless Hunter. I got an arc of Rebel Witch, which is book 2 of Crimson Moth duology, I think that's what it's called. So obviously I had to pick it up before February, and I'm so happy I did because this book blew me away. I feel like I was in a bit of a slump after finishing The Ballad of Ever After, but Heartless Hunter literally killed me. I feel like it drained me out of my slump. I was so obsessed with this book, completely consumed by it. Every time I was not reading it, I was thinking about the characters, I was thinking about the plot. If you want a true enemies to lovers to enemies plot, this is the book you should pick up because we have a witch hunter. So this book follows Gideon and Rune. So Rune is a witch. She's a witch in a society that hates witches. So she has to hide her identity. So Rune has a secret identity called the Crimson Moth, where she go rescue witches that are being purged, hunted down by the witch hunters in this world. We have Gideon, and Gideon is a witch hunter. He hates witches. He wants them all purged. Basically, we get into a plot where Gideon is assigned to find the Crimson Moth. So Rune, to kind of throw the hunters off her scent and to kind of get some intel of what they're thinking, she decides to court Gideon Sharp, the very man who was hunting her. And obviously there's so much scheming and betrayal and banter between these two, and it's just so good. The whole plot was amazing. I had such a good time reading this. I did annotate this book. Absolutely loved this book with my whole chest. Was it perfect? No. Did I predict the plot twists in this book? Yes, I did, but that did not stop me from loving this book. I give this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. This had me hooked, had me entertained. I love the characters. Gideon is such a prick, but I loved him. I loved his background. We find out why he hates witches, and it's completely heartbreaking, and it's just such a good story. My favorite part of this book is that we have a love triangle. Rune is kind of in a love triangle between Gideon and Alex. Gideon and Alex are brothers. So brother love triangles always hit so good. I'm not a big fan of love triangles, but when it's between brothers, I will eat it up. I love it so much. I love the drama of it all. Like, is it horrible to have 2 brothers in love with you? Yes, kind of. I just feel like having 2 brothers obsessed with you is kind of like my dream situation. The last 60 pages of this book was utter heartbreak. It was chaos. It was messy. In this book, there's no true evil because both of these characters, I understand why Rune hates the humans who are trying to kill her kind, but I also understand why Gideon hates witches. So it's just like this very morally ambiguous world. I feel like this book has equal parts character development, also plot development, because a lot happens in this book, and there's so many amazing moments between Rune and Gideon and the witches and the witch hunters, and there's so many like action-packed scenes that happen. Absolutely loved Rune. She's a vigilante, but she's just so cool. I love the magic system. I love this world so much, but we don't know much about it. We don't know much about how some people have magic, some don't. What I really loved about this book is that how it's like the witches use blood to kind of do their magic. Rune had to use her period blood in this book. I feel like periods are very like taboo in books, but I loved how her periods played into her magic. It felt very divine femininity. It felt powerful. Just so amazing. I just loved how that was tied into the story. I loved watching Rune and Gideon fall in love, but also how complex their love story was, how complicated the situation was. I just feel like it was just so well done. The ending, I don't want to talk about it. It hurt too much. So this is the end of my video. I really enjoyed every single book that I read, and I had such a fun time reading them. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please do. If you love my videos, please subscribe to my channel. What was your favorite book of January? Please let me know down below in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. Bye guys!